Shut up and sit down.
Welcome once again to the Shite Talk podcast show. Mark and Ken.
What's the crack?
On episode 194 of the Shite Talk podcast show.
That's 491 backbits.
491 backbits, yes. Like, I was getting through ways of how we can get out of 204.
Yeah.
And then I'm really bad at maths. So, technically speaking, you came in on the 114th show. So we just take 114 away from whatever episode we're on now. We'll then say, well, we will celebrate 204, but this is actually our 86th show. So, like, it's a good bit away.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah. So, see, I don't know if that is 86. I definitely don't think 114 minus 194 is 86.
It's just 80.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't that far off. I'm gonna give myself a C minus for that. That's. I'm even though I got it wrong, I'm still for a random guess in my head. I'm quite happy with myself there.
Both of them end in fours, Mark. So it had to be an even number.
That is true. That is true, actually. So, like, technically, it's actually our 80th show. Like, we're way off 204. We got so much time. I'm pretty sure even if we did it that way, we'd still not have anything. We just kicked the can down the road, and then in 2 years' time, we'd be like, oh shit.
You kicked the can again.
Yeah, it was like, and now there's the bird flu again. So, like, we're still doing this from our bedrooms. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, I think if we just forget about it, maybe our listeners will. If we keep talking about it, we've now made it into something.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Just making it into nothing.
Try. If all our really dedicated listeners just forgot what they listened to over the last 50 odd episodes that we've started talking about this, I'm pretty sure, like, after the people listen to the podcast, that's what they try to do anyway. Is just forget any of the information. It's like, I can't let this seep through. Just leave my head. It's like, you know, when you're talking to people and a random story pops in your head, and you're like, oh, where did you hear that? It's like, this is what happens to our listeners, where they hear like a woman find a penis in her soup, and they're like, where did you hear that? I was like, oh, I'd rather not say.
Would you radio?
Radio, yes. Radio was talking about a woman finding a penis in her soup. Yeah.
Late night radio?
Very late night radio, like 2 a.m. Yeah, there's a guy on a radio station who was talking about penises. Penis hour on the long drive. Insert radio. You could do that on a late night radio. I think after 7 o'clock, no one listens.
After 7, I actually never listen to the radio really.
I work in a van, so I listen to a good bit. I think if you work on the road, you're like, because that's what annoys me when people are like, oh, it's all over the news, and it's like, no, it wasn't. I hear the news every hour, and it wasn't. Trust me, I would have heard about it. I can recite the news.
Yeah, like, I kind of just listen to CDs.
Or, not even Spotify or like MP3 player.
Well, MP3 player sometimes. I've got like a CD player still.
Oh my god! Do you still have CD collection?
Yeah.
And does it still jump like fuck? Like, they're so bad.
No, CDs are good. I like CDs.
Yeah, you press skip, it slightly scratches it to the next song. I have like a bookshelf beside my vinyl player, and I have like where all my CDs are in, and there's like, I don't know where. I used to have a really good CD collection, and I don't know where it's all gone. I only have like 4 CDs, and the rest of them are like PlayStation games and DVDs. Like, I don't know where half my CDs are gone.
Yeah, like, I don't know where things disappear to like that. It's probably your ma threw them out.
Yeah. Now, what probably happens is, like, we used to have a collection of family CDs in like a CD case that also had pictures on it, I think just like everyone's CD collection was there, so there used to be a lot of CDs there, and then I think that got fucked out. So that probably went with all the other ones. They're like, "Oh, throw all these CDs in your room that you want to keep," and they're like, "I don't want CDs. Have them on my iPod. Like this thing's never dying." But yeah,
iPods still die.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I do think they're a good idea. The whole MP3 thing, or I wouldn't say CDs. I think MP3s are a good idea because you can keep them in your car. You can possibly charge them from your car, and at least then you're not paying a music provider €10 a month just to listen to songs. All your favorite songs are there.
Yeah, I like CDs because people don't listen to albums anymore.
Yeah, that is true. I do listen to albums. My new thing, well, when I'm doing like a lockdown workout, is I'll put on an album and I'll listen through the workout, and like that's how I kind of discover new music now. It's like I do it from YouTube. So every every second song is like an ad. It's like such a pain. I probably should get premium, but like I'm not fucking paying. I just resent paying money for music.
But you pay like what, $5, nearly $10 for a coffee?
Oh, I paid like £3 for a coffee, $2.50. Yeah.
Yeah, for something that's like completely disposable and you're only going to use once and have for about 5 minutes.
Okay. But if there was a free version,
this is the problem with people these days.
But if there was a free version of coffee, where I only had to listen to a few ads to get coffee, I'd also.
You mean like the coffee that your ma buys that's in your house that you could make before you leave the house?
Yeah, I'd also do that. But like that means bringing a flask.
But you'll still go and pay your €5 for your coffee.
It's like $2.50, $2.40, and then a lot of places like you have buy 8 coffees get the 9 free, so you get a little kind of free coffees, and sometimes give you an extra stamp when they're really nice to you. But yeah, that's how I listen to like that's how I find new music, because I used to use music channels for that, and they used to, here's a new song by this band, and you used to discover loads of bands that way. Now it's just either YouTube or Spotify.
Yeah, because MTV had a good solid 4 years there where they played music.
Yeah, but it was still good. Like the Royal Blood's new album is Discover, and then Strokes album. And then they keep recommending, oh, this band has a new album coming out, like Black Keys or stuff like that. YouTube are pretty good for that.
I don't really use YouTube for listening to music.
Yeah? What do you use? Just CDs?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Now, all the good music has already been created. We don't need new good music. Is that kind of the way?
No, my issue is that the less people that pay for music, the less likely you are to get good new music.
Yeah.
You're just going to get, when people are like, oh, that new song by whoever the fuck just sounds like this other song by this other fucking band.
Yeah.
That's because no record company wants to take a risk anymore because nobody pays for music that they like.
Yeah.
So why release something that you don't know if people are going to like it or not?
Well, no, what annoys me is like there are these great new albums out there, but they don't get radio play. Like Royal Blood's new album's class, and
but bands never needed radio play. Like loads of bands,
but like there's
much every metal band on the planet succeeded by not getting radio play.
But like these aren't metal bands, and these are almost, they're radio friendly ish bands, and they don't get regular. Or even Foo Fighters' new album's class, and they never gone. They rarely get on and played on radio, and like their music's radio playable as well. It's like it's not like heavy metal. It's not huge guitar things. That's what annoys me about like stuff like that. It's that like bands particularly aren't given the same avenues, even though they're producing probably it's probably golden age of rock music, but it's not being played as much. Not like a few years ago, you might get the likes of Kings of Leon, Kasabian would be played. Remember, we couldn't go into a shop out here and shoot the runner. And other bands like that would got radio play. So they're not given the same avenue. Everyone's kind of gone either.
It's all to do with commercialness and how much your record company can make back off them.
Yeah, that is true. I think Black Keys were kind of pointing to that when they're like, oh, look how commercially successful our music is, and you're not pushing us. And they're like, that's true. We'll push it, and then go on the ceiling. That kind of Black Keys album was like #1 all over the world and did super well.
Because like even like you mentioned Foo Fighters, like Foo Fighters are a very successful band, but record company's going to make fuck all of them because Dave Grohl's not going to be a whore.
That's true, but like
whereas Ed Sheeran will be a whore.
Well, Dave Grohl, like they did horish like stuff now that like they did a whole radio thing where they SNL or not SNL, that's a TV company, but they did some US kind of radio station. Did a radio show that then was bought by other radio stations, basically sold.
Sirius FM thing.
Yeah, Sirius FM, and like so that's kind of commercially ish.
Is it because I understand why bands do that? So they do it because that's a way for them to open up people. So people are going to listen to that just because it's Foo Fighters. So that's a way for them to open up ways for people to listen to the bands that they listen to.
Yeah, but it's also a way of like radio station going, oh, we have this band Foo Fighters that we never actually play on this radio station, but they're going to actually have their own radio show, and then after this, we're never going to talk about them or play their new album at all. And like, but people like Foo Fighters, play Foo Fighters.
They only sell it to rock stations, though, don't they?
Yeah, they sell it to rock station. Yeah, well, I think anyone can buy, but generally will be a rock station that will buy it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very sure if 2FM came up and gone, hey, I'd like to buy that. They'd be like, yeah, sure. This is your price. They're not going to go, no, you're not a rock station.
Do they not? They have a rock show, though, don't they? Or is that NO.194? One of them has a rock show.
They have a rock online radio station, 2XM.
One of them, though, has a rock show like on a Friday night.
I don't know. A lot of them
it's actually better than anything the actual rock station plays.
Oh, really? I don't know. Yeah, well, like generally they do. A lot of radio stations will have their rock show like at 10 a.m. Apparently, all people who listen to rock music also struggle to sleep.
Yeah, only listen to the radio between the hours of 10 and 4 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of weird. We should get on to our show instead of giving out about the radio station. Why Ken listens to CDs and Mark's refusal to buy YouTube Premium.
This is what happened.
Yeah, this happens even when we're doing pre-show. What happens? Why it takes us so long to actually start recording an episode?
This is what grinds my gears.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we actually have a pretty interesting show, a mixed bag of stuff, and one of the stories we're going to be talking about is a woman who discovered a list of rules that her boyfriend's mom has for dating her sons. So we're going into that and breaking them down. Some of them are quite interesting, some of them are a bit weird. But I don't know if the mom's going to be too happy with her after she did this. She posted this on TikTok. Then we have a fraudster who wrapped his head in order to pass somebody else's driving test. This is kind of a continuation of our car series that we're apparently doing throughout the show. Every week.
Should he have really been an idiot of the week?
I don't think he's an idiot of the week because he got away with it for several years. Like, I think he started 2018 and it's only like this year, maybe late last year, that he got caught for it. Then we have another continuation story because we're talking about the latest way the US government or a state in the US trying to convince people to get vaccinated. And Ken was very, very close to throwing this on Idiots of the Week. This is like, I was like, I don't know if it's stupid enough to be an Idiot of the Week. So maybe we're going to put it beside Idiots of the Week.
That like says it all, really, doesn't it? Like,
yeah.
Like, we don't know if this is stupid enough.
Yeah.
To be an idiot.
It's kind of like, it's just so stupid, it just might work, kind of a thing. If it works, good. But if it doesn't work, well, now we just have like a lot of people who have guns, but like, I kind of gave it away. Didn't I? I tried to like leave it on a cliffhanger there, but I kind of gave away just at the end. And then our idiots of the week is a teenager who fell asleep in Airbnb. We also have a woman who thought she found a penis in her dinner, and it's just quite hilarious how she discovered the penis, two, what she was doing before she discovered the penis. This is a whole story is just really, really interesting. But she finds a penis in her dinner, and then all hell breaks loose. And yeah, we got a great story on our hands. And a teacher came up with a really interesting way of catching kids out on cheating on their exams. We'll also be talking about this on our show today.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. We had much stories this week. It was a rarity. We know we'd barely have any. We just ended up talking shite. But this week we had surplus stories, and we like crammed as much stories that we thought we could get into an hour, and then just talk shite for the last half an hour. So we might have more stories from this week's show.
Unless we don't talk any shite.
Well, there's a bit late for that. I think that ship has quite clearly sailed.
I think that ship sailed years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Ship had sailed on the 114th episode of the Shite Talk podcast show. And people can listen back to our episode. Know what's also another interesting thing, before we get into on our story, and since we were talking about the coronavirus, we started doing our IGTV on our Instagram page on April last year. It was the first time we posted a video on our IGTV.
Yeah.
And if people want to recap what living through the coronavirus was like, our IGTV is a really good way of doing it, because you can actually track what stage of the coronavirus saga we are at by our IGTV videos per month that we went on. So the first one was like myths about celebrities who had the coronavirus when it first started, and then it was pubs reopen, look what food they were going with. Then it was like, I wonder if I should cut my hair in my house by myself, and we're like arguing if that was a good idea or not. Then we have like porn, what people are watching on porn. Then we were like breast milk. We covered the coronavirus like inside and out throughout the corner, and you can just track it until we eventually just lost interest on it, and then we went on to like not Matt Damon. What's his man? All right.
Who?
You know the actor? He goes, all right. Matthew McConaughey. Then we just got bored, so we just started talking about Matthew McConaughey, like having wet dreams, and if in fact oysters make you horny.
Yeah, do you know who we haven't talked about in a while? We need to find an update on.
What?
Dave the fucking Duck.
Yeah, Dave the Duck. But yeah, check out our IGTV for all those stories, or to recap what the coronavirus was like, or to see if oysters actually do make you horny or not. Yeah, but yeah, we definitely need to do one, a Dave the Duck IGTV video, and two, an update on what the fuck is up with Dave the Duck.
Yeah, poor old Dave.
He hasn't been in the media source. We need to find his owner and contact him personally and do like a Shite Talk exclusive.
Dave the Duck.
Dave the Duck. Yeah, so like, we will get into it, because we're like it's like a tide. Every time we try it, we get further away. The harder we try to swim, the further we go back out away from our stories. So I'm going to start off with this woman who discovered a list that her her boyfriend's mother had made, and it's a list that says these are the rules that you have to obey by if you want to have a successful relationship with my sons. And she put it up on her TikTok video. Now she claims she was horrified when she discovered these rules, that her boyfriend's mom had actually rules for dating her son. What do you think of like a person having rules for dating their child?
Well, if I ever have a daughter, there's definitely going to be rules.
But but here's the thing. She said like, oh, I discovered that she had these rules for dating her sons. So you're kind of looking at the story going, oh my God, maybe she was rooting through the drawers. Maybe, I don't know, how did she discover that her mom had these rules? Were they written down somewhere? Did she hear off one of the siblings that she had rules? No, she's seen it on her Instagram. She's not going to make the world's greatest detective now. She didn't discover. The mom shared the rules on her Instagram page about dating her brothers. She didn't discover shite. She just seen it on her newsfeed.
She didn't discover shit.
And I'm pretty sure this is probably the generic list. I've seen like people with t-shirts, and I've seen posts about rules for dating my daughter, insert whatever rules, what would be certain rules you would have if you had a daughter, and what like give us a flavour of some of the rules that might appear on Ken's dad's 10 rules for dating my daughter.
Anything you do to her, I will do to you.
That's possible rape.
That's only rape if that's what he's done.
Oh yeah, okay. you're gonna give him consensual sex.
He's agreeing to it.
Fair enough.
There's going to be a full blown contract.
Hey, you're gonna sign this. Whatever you do, if you're dating someone's sibling, and you're a dad, okay, that person's obviously pretty important to your life. But I feel like you should probably want to treat that person the way you would want to be treated when you first met a person's parents. Surely, so I was like, I don't want to come in here and have to sign a legally binding contract that I don't want to do any of these things to their daughter. Some of which do they know I'm going to do to their daughter.
It's kind of debatable though.
What?
If if whoever's coming to your house is a fucking skullbag or not.
Yeah, well, it's a difference between if your daughter brings in this absolute scum, and you're just you're not good enough for dating my daughter.
Or okay, we're gonna have to be diplomatic and say son or daughter.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think okay. If we're being real with people, if we're being real, let's be real. If your son brings in an absolute slut, you're gonna be like, nice.
I think dads worry more about daughters and mums worry more about sons.
I think mums also worry about daughters as well, but dads worry less about sons. Dads just he'll learn, or just as a face, or fair play to him. Play the field. There is a slight bit of bias in terms of if a son has plenty of partners or aren't in committed relationships, it's gone, he's young. If daughters are like that, they're my daughter's a bit of a slut. There is that kind of stigma. But then there isn't too many slutty men. It's not like a male slut walks into your house.
I know loads of them.
I know loads of male sluts too, but they're harder to recognise. It's not like they walk in a short skirt, barely wearing anything. You can't spot them from a mile out. You can't look.
You kind of can.
You can. They come in all shapes and sizes with men. I know.
They do with women too, though.
But they're you can spot a person who's scantily dressed.
That doesn't necessarily mean that.
But it could be an indication that's where they get labelled as quite slight. If we go into some of the rules here,
some girls get labelled as sluts that aren't.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's what I said about if we go into some of the rules. So well, I think the mom might other than okay, she just said she basically posted on TikTok. I think she goes by her TikTok handle name. This is where she shared it. Is Hot Girl Swift is her TikTok name. She shared this on TikTok. In the background, and how horrified she was once she found this list. In the background was puddles of mud. She fucking hates me. I'm pretty sure maybe sharing her list of things on this wasn't on her top 10 things you must not do if you want to be in a relationship with my son, but it probably is now, which is probably 11th one. Do not make a TikTok video of me where you had put it was she fucking hates me, and then talk about how much you've broken pretty much every single rule on this, and this was directed at you, even though it probably wasn't.
Yeah, well, I don't know if. Had the mother met this? I'm assuming she did already have met the girlfriend at this stage.
I presume she did as well, because the fact that...
So then, chances are she probably did post because she thinks this girl is a fucking idiot.
But I think she has multiple sons.
She has multiple sons.
Yeah, exactly. And the list...
Well, then one of the sons, she's thinking...
Yeah. So this could be directed at one of her son's partners. In fairness, this more than likely... Or it could be something that she's seen on Facebook or on Instagram, screenshot it and posted it because she thought it was like, yeah, I actually agree with some of these rules, or some of these rules I find funny. So we'll go through the rules, and some of them are reasonable, and other of them are fucking insane, and the mother is way too personal. So the first rule is he is not an ATM, which is kind of like, don't just be like expecting him to buy you everything, which is okay, fair enough. She said, if you show up to my house like a stripper, I will make you go away. I don't know what she means by go away. Maybe that's leave your house, but maybe that also means I'll make you disappear.
Yeah, go in an Al Pacino kind of way.
She leaves that open. The next one is like, I think is a little bit personal, as like, she goes, if I see any sex message on his phone, I'll make you go away. Once again, and now I'm starting to think it's more the Al Pacino, I'll make you swim with fishes kind of way. I think now the mother is starting to threaten said girlfriends, and we're only to like said third rule.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that one though.
Well, if he's dating her son and she's sending her dirty messages, are they like fair enough? Like that's all part of the course, as long as they're all of age. Like I do know a story of a friend who was sexting a girl that he was dating in secondary school, and the mother had the girl's phone. All the messages that went to her also went to the mother, so she could see what the mother, what her daughter, what messages her daughter was sending people, and what message she was receiving. And he was texting her, and the mother made a big deal about it. Oh, she went through him. I think she alerted the school to it and all. It was like something serious.
See?
Yeah, but like that's just private. They're teenagers at that stage. I'm kind of like leave them at it. Just like maybe talking to your daughter about like contraception. Maybe might be a better way of that than reading her messages. I just thought that was huge invasion of privacy.
It depends how old you are.
Yes, well, a teenager.
Yeah, it still depends how old you are.
Well, let's say between the ages of 13 and 18.
Yeah, so then 18 maybe might be pushing it. Under 18,
pushing it. 18, you're an adult. 18, you're an adult.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But I think
if you're living in my house, you're living by my rules. So fuck off.
I think 16 upwards, it's time to have a conversation.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're living in my house, living by my rules. I buy you a phone, I'll take that phone if I want it.
Fair enough. Ken's going to be a serious father. Yeah, so the next one is, understand that if I don't like you, I will make you go away.
Yeah, I get that one.
Once again, I don't know. And I think it's kind of unsaid rule. And I don't know if this goes more for girls than it does for guys. Maybe it goes for both. But I kind of feel like there's a bit of psychology that you can play. Obviously, when you meet parents for the first time, you want everything to go well. But there is that whole thing of like, if a girl's parents don't like you, then they have to try to justify why they're dating you, and that can actually push them more towards you. You know, like that kind of stereotypical like girl daughter going out with like a bad guy, and parents are like, "Why are you going out with that? He's such a waster." And she's like, "No, I love him." And more they like give out about him, more she pushes it towards him.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that. Something like, obviously when you first meet a parents, you want it to go well. But like, there is that whole thing. Is like, actually, if it doesn't go well, it actually could work out in your favor as well, depending on. No one says that, but like, it is true. Not all the time, though. Yeah. Then she says, if I don't like you, understand that I can make you go away. It's the fifth rule. It's like really kind of, I will kill you vibes to that. The next one is probably the most creepiest one. I think 3 was pretty creepy, but next one you're kind of like, okay, I can understand why she was a bit weirded out by this list, because it says he's a mama's boy unless you have a ring on his finger. Your opinion, how will you take that?
Yeah,
I was like, that is a really creepy. And it's like, you are not in charge of him, and it is not up to you to change him. Take him for who he is, or see Rule 5. Which is, I'll make you go away.
Yeah, Yeah, like everybody puts all this emphasis on how girls shouldn't change for boys, but boys shouldn't change for girls either.
Yeah, like, and the next one's like, he's a gentleman, so I taught that to him. So you better be a lady or whatever. And the next one's, I know how to avoid jail. Is the 9th, which is kind of like 5. Like, I've seen similar, and then I think the thing, if you weasel your way past all of these rules and fake your way into a ring on your finger, I will be something much worse than your boyfriend's mom. I will be your mother-in-law. Which is very, very true.
No comment.
No comment. Can't say shit. So, like, I think so. Like, I don't know if maybe it is directed at her. It's probably directed at all her son's partners or possible partners. What do you make of the list? Like, in terms of you seeing?
I think it's just one of those stupid things. Like, it's just one of those fucking things that people post and nobody's actually ever going to do anything about.
Yeah, like, I don't think you take any of these serious. I've seen dads post similar things where they're basically threatening, whatever you do to my daughter, I'll do to you, or stuff like that.
You're one. What, it was the girlfriend was the one. She was shocked or horrified by this or whatever.
Yeah, she was claiming she was shocked or horrified, and she had
She's probably posted one of those fucking lists, where it's like, he better have money, he better have a good car, he better have a job, he better buy me shit.
Well, she probably posted like a list of like things she like, you better treat me right, you better have blah blah blah, and like, they're just like, everyone wants. If you care about someone, you want the best for them. But I wouldn't take it necessarily this was actually her mother's list. But like, there is that kind of tension. I did see a story early in the week. This kind of remind me. It's kind of different, but kind of remind me of. And it's that called. I think girls are trying to, like, they don't want a mother that's overly involved with their mother. That whole idea that like, you'll never be better than my mom kind of thing. There's that kind of stigma or around people who have an overly close connection with their mom, especially boys. That kind of mama's boy that she'll never be too good for her son, but no one will be ever as good enough as their mother. The mother's just a shining light that's a like untouchable bar for most women. And
that's just like stereotypical Irish mammy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's stereotypical. Yeah, kind of. And I think girls don't want being involved in a relationship like that, because I've heard this story where a girl met this guy and lived by himself. He had a good job, very nice to her. Anytime she came over to his place, it was like really clean, tidy, seemed like a well put together guy. And then found out that his mom still does his washing for her, and she said no, that was lying. And that was, I am not getting involved, and left him over the fact that his mom still does the washing. It's a bit weird that his mom does the washing, was also a bit weird that she left him just for that simple thing that his mom does the washing.
Yeah, I think people break up with people for stupid fucking reasons.
Yeah, talking about, while we're on the subject of meeting parents, do you remember the first time you met Aideen's parents, and what was it like?
When I first met them?
Yeah, when you first met them, you would have been early 20s.
So when I first met her ma came into work. I was just in work minding my own business, and this woman comes up and says, "Are you Ken?" I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "I'm Aideen's ma." I was like, "Oh,
how are things?"
Okay. That's how I met her ma, and then
was she shipping for like a staff discount, a family man discount?
No, like that was basically it. Like, I don't know, just basic conversation.
All right.
Then her dad, I was supposed to go to her house for dinner. I had long hair, and I kind of have long hair now, but like I had proper long hair, and I had like a big beard.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Come to my house for dinner and meet my dad." So I was like, "Okay." And her dad had to work, so he didn't it ended up getting cancelled because he was in work, obviously. And I had been all respectable to go that day. And then I picked her up to go to town one day, and she's like, "Oh, my dad says he wants to meet you before we go," and I look like an absolute knacker.
Yeah. No, it can be very nerve-wracking meeting parents for the first time. It can be like definitely.
It's something that I don't particularly like doing.
Yeah, no, I hate doing it as well. I remember when I was much younger.
But like not just with girlfriends, like even with friends, like, it's just something that I don't particularly like doing.
Yeah, I hate small conversations as well. Like even with people I haven't seen in a while. I see there's a person in I was like in Tesco and seeing somebody that we know, and I was like, oh, I don't want to make conversation with them. So I did everything in my power, like power walk past. It's like I just hate small talk. But yeah, but it can be very nerve wracking. I remember the first time. No, one time when I was much younger, meeting somebody's parents for the first time, and I was in there. I'd stayed over in the house the night before, and I think we got in at like 3:00 in the morning, and we had to stay in separate rooms. But like, so I didn't act. When you're kind of in that kind of, do I get out of bed? Are they up? I can't really understand. It's like you don't know where to go down. Then there's this like. I walked down the stairs because I thought I heard her downstairs, and her parents are there, and I think she just got up and just having that like small tiny table, having that awkward conversation. Oh, then pouring juice for you. You're like, oh, tears, thanks. I was dying inside as well.
I just don't like it.
Yeah, no, I hate it too. I was like, I definitely make bad first impressions as well. So like,
yeah, like meeting Aiden's parents was the time meeting parents went actually all right. Like usually it's ridiculous.
Oh, it's just like being hungover and just being like so awkward around people anyway at that time, and just then meeting.
Yeah, and like that's without it being a girl that you're like.
And then it's first thing in the morning as well.
Yeah. Like even meeting like your friend's parents, like the first time you stay over in your friend's house when you're in secondary school.
Oh yeah.
Like your parents are awkward.
Yeah, exactly. I always get up way too early, and I always
me too.
Way
and you're
for my friends. Yeah. Oh yeah, especially for sleeping downstairs. So you're sleeping in a sitting room.
It's not too bad, like, years later when you've been going there, like, every day for fucking the last 5 years, and you're at that stage where you can just walk in and
have chats. Yeah, like, you kind of have to break that, but that first kind of meeting of people. I remember saying in waking up in my friend's girlfriend's house.
That's another awkward one.
That's so awkward. It's like, why are you here? It's like,
it's like, why the fuck are you even here?
Why is this has become a hostel? That is the worst of them all. Yeah, that's super awkward as well. But we better move on, and we're going to be talking about. I think this is a story that both of us had. And it's probably another nerve-wracking experience for people, and it's around driving tests. Because people get like super nervous when it comes to driving tests. I think it builds it up worse than it actually is, and it becomes a lot bigger of an occasion than it probably needs to be.
Oh, definitely. Like your driving test, like everybody freaks out with your fucking driving test. Like people are like, "Oh, I'm not even telling anybody I'm doing my driving test."
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it is. Yeah, like especially if you're around people around same age who are all doing driving tests, and just like that kind of a big push towards like trying to like pass first time. There's that kind of thing. You're like, oh, I can't fuck it up because everyone got first time. It builds up to a lot bigger thing than it actually needs to be.
Yeah, like your driving test. I don't know. I passed mine second time, so like I can't really say that. I
passed mine third time, I think, fourth time. So yeah, I really can't say that. But what annoyed me was my friend did it. He fucked up going around the bend, didn't get a pink mark on something that should have been a pink mark, didn't get a pink mark. Then my sister passed it. She made some first time. She made some fairly big mistakes as well. She said, and she never got. Your man just kind of looked the other way, kind of a thing.
I think they tend to go easier on girls than boys. Yeah.
Now, in fairness, the first time I did wave at a person while going across the junction, I probably did. I probably did deserve to fail that time. Fair enough. But like you do that anyway. Like I drive on the road all the time, and I do that the whole time. If someone flashes, let me go. I go, oh, cheers, thanks. So that's just that. Like I kind of feel like, well, you do it anyway if you're on the road. Like
I failed mine for stupid reasons.
yeah. Now this isn't about goes into a bit on the actual test, but this is about the theory test, which I kind of feel like you're a little bit stupid if you can't actually pass the theory test, and the fact that you need to pay another person to pass the theory test for you.
Yeah, you're not the brightest.
Yeah, Izmir Senja, who's 28.
It's easier to just not even pronounce his name.
Well, Isram is probably right. Is Izmir. Ismer? Yeah, Ismer. Yeah, 28. Ismer's 28. Used several excuses why his head was covered in bandages in order to disguise his true identity so that he could take other people's theory tests in England. So he basically went up to the driving test centre with a load of bandages on head, with somebody else's ID, and he said he had several different excuses, like he worked at a building site. One of those excuses was like he worked at a building site, he had hit his head and had to be sent home. If I was a driving test centre, I was like, all right, so you're deemed unfit for work. He's like, yes. Then I'd imagine that you're unfit to drive a car on the road where there are other people and possibly pedestrians crossing. I'm going to ask that you reschedule this test.
Yeah, sometimes that did happen, though, didn't it?
No.
Or was it just because they figured that he had a fake ID?
Yeah, no, eventually they caught on to him. They're sharing his identity. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. So this all happened in England. And he was eventually caught by a staff member in Swindon because of they were sharing a poster of him. Because when I first read it, because the tester recognized his face from a poster, and I was like, when did this happen? 1962? Was it a driving test, or was it like a license for a horse? Like the fact that they're using a wanted poster.
Yeah, it's probably just like one of those internal things that they send around.
Yeah, but as I read it, it was an internal thing. So he got caught, I think, in West Ham, and he was jailed for 2 years, 4 months by the Swindon court. He had previously been convicted of other frauds in 2014 for other kind of trying to get people past their driving tests. So this has been an ongoing scam for him.
That's the part that like kind of gets me, that he got caught doing this. He continued doing it.
Well, I think he just moved he got caught doing the driving test. He's like, oh, maybe theory test is easier to fool people on. So he just started doing people's theory tests for them.
How bad of a driver and stuff must you be though to pay somebody else to do your test for you?
Well, I imagine, for your theory test, I think you're a little bit thick, because all that is download the app, do the questions until you pass it on a regular basis, then apply for your license, apply for your theory test license, and then do this test. Like, they're the same questions. It's like
I did my theory test when it was first brought in.
Yeah.
And I did mine in 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes? Yeah, I don't know how long how I passed mine was.
They give you you get an hour for it.
You get an hour for it. I don't think I was too long in there myself. But you get an hour for it. But before I did mine, I was I went put in the CD, downloaded it, and made sure I passed it 3 times in a row before I applied for my test. Then once I passed it 3 times in a row, I applied for my test. There's usually about a 2-week waiting list. So then every day I would just do the test again and again and again. And obviously I was getting it right most of the time. But at the point where I went into the test, I knew all the answers off by heart. It wasn't that I knew the rules of the road. I had just memorized all the correct answers. And the questions are the exact same. It's the easiest test to pass.
You see, I hadn't done anything like that. I didn't do pre-tests and stuff. There was all the like, I don't know when you did yours, but like all I got was the book. It was like a book with a load of questions in it, and that was it. And I didn't even read the book. I was like, there's too much shit in this to be fucking reading. Just went and did it.
Yeah, because I remember, I think I got 2 questions wrong in my thing. It was like 40 questions, 41 questions, maybe 48. Well, I think it was 48 questions when I did mine, and I
think mine was 40, and you needed to get 35 to pass.
Maybe mine was 40 as well. I think they pushed it up 48. I either got 38 out of 40, or I got something like that. I remember I had 8 in my overall thing. I remember I gotten like 2, maybe 2 or 1 wrong. I don't know what it was, because I remember bragging to my friend that I got less questions wrong than him. He got like 3 wrong. I was like, ha, 2. He passed his test first go 3 times. Then he's like, ha. Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, but so, one time in 2018 he arrived to early for an appointment in Eastbourne test centre, dressed in a high visibility vest. This is the one where I was telling him he hit his head. I said he had injured his nose and head while working and had to be sent home, and basically did a test centre. Then eventually he was going around using similar enough excuses in the various different centres, and he arrived to one of them and they actually recognised him. He had done the test already, so they said, no, I don't believe you who you are, and sent him away. And then the next one refused to take him for a test at all because of a similar reason. And then the one that he actually got caught in, your one recognised him from a poster. So at this stage they created a poster of him and circulate around all the different test centres. Watch out for your man coming in. She actually took him for a test because she wanted to wait for the police to actually arrive. So she went along with the whole charade, did the test. The police got there after the test and said, oh, you're actually being arrested for a fraud, for impersonating him. And he'd actually was wanted by police already for some other kind of crime.
Surely the people that are paying him should be like guilty of some crime as well, though, no?
Oh yeah, exactly. They would actually be guilty of there definitely is of soliciting in terms of I think it's a state exam.
Yeah, so there could be some sort of
like if you cheat on your leaving cert or junior cert or any state exams, like, is a criminal offence. You will be prosecuted if you could be prosecuted. Yeah,
so like surely he's like paying a guy to go and do your driving test for you has to be something.
Yeah, I know people do suffer from like anxiety when it comes to tests. So in a regular class setting, let's say they're a C student or a B student, but when they just get so nervous when it comes to exams and their mind goes into blanks, and they actually do worse so they end up becoming a D or a C student. And I remember there was a lot of teachers when I was in school was saying that they don't really agree on tests as a whole, because there's like, you don't really know what happened in that person that day. Like a person could have had a relative die 2 weeks previous, and it could be playing on their mind. They could be fighting with a spate of depression. They could have any more things why they didn't, and it's just basically a like snapshot of what you know on a certain day, and it's not really a great indicator on how well you know a subject.
Yeah, like I think continuous assessment is a bit better.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think continuous assessment, and same with the driving test. And like I don't think the driving test is great overall. I don't have a better solution of how you get people past the test. I don't know if you just leave it to like motoring schools to adjudicate if a person's has the right enough ability after a certain amount of lessons. So you have to say, let's say you have to take 20 lessons in order to do it. But like, if they don't think that person's good enough to drive, then you have to do more. They're saying no, and they have to do continuous assessment of your driving ability and make sure you can do X, Y, and Z. If that would be a better way of doing it, I don't know. But like, even when I was passing my test, like the driving instructors are like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be passing this test. They're just like, when I came back the third time, I was like, I can't believe like they failed you on certain things. There's like, I'm out of the car every week and you can drive perfectly fine. There's no reason why you should be failing. And I was like, well, okay, cheers. Thanks for the talk, coach. I was like, so like, I was like, I don't know if that's a better solution or how you actually regulate where there won't be a fuckery afoot. But I don't think necessarily driving test is necessarily the best way to determine if a person's able to drive or not.
Yeah, like, and a lot of people get nervous on it as well, and then you've got all that extra pressure of, I don't know if it's a myth or not, where they say like, oh, if you're doing your test after 12 o'clock, you're going to fail.
Oh yeah, like if they haven't failed a certain amount of people, they have to get through. Or if a person's hungry, it's better to do
a quota.
Yeah.
There's a quota for pass versus fail that they have to do every day. So like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And I that's what I think. And if there was if you did it, push it out to schools where they have to do, no matter what, you have to do, let's say 25 lessons. Schools had to, you had to sit those 25 lessons anyway. If
they do that in America, don't they? They do something similar to that in America.
But I'm pretty sure, in terms of get your pilot's license, isn't it hours behind the cockpit or something like that? It determines it, and then there's
hours spent flying.
Yeah, hours spent flying, as well as an assessment of your flying skills. But that's done. I'm nearly certain it's done by your instructor or by schools anyway. I'm not too sure on that, but I think that seems like a more fairer system. I think there is a possibility of fuckery afoot in test centers or in motoring schools, and you'd have to look at do you have can private instructors do them? Is there kind of your dad knows them, he'll pass you first thing, he'll sign your book once you give him enough money? Could that be afoot? And how do you regulate that industry? But okay, but I think we all can agree, a snapshot of how you drive, especially when we know people are failed for nonsense reasons, or people are passed because the way they look or they wear certain clothes.
Yeah, I failed the first test I did. I failed it because tester marked down that I was in the wrong lane of a roundabout. Yeah, but it was a single lane roundabout.
Oh, so you only could be in one lane.
You could only be in one lane.
Yeah, exactly. And some people don't I remember saying to certain cars that my uncle was like, "Oh, don't take your Colt because it looks like a boy racer's car, even though it isn't a boy racer's car. It looks like a boy racer's car, and use a test car because it looks better." And then people are people are saying certain cars that you drive, people label you as different things because they're only taking a snapshot of you when you're driving. If you're doing your leaving cert, it's only a snapshot of your ability to drive. So I don't know.
Bullshit.
It's bullshit. We better move on. That's our 2 cents on driving tests. And now we're going to be talking about vaccinations, especially US is continuing to push in order to get the whole entire country vaccinated by offering incentives. So we've covered this last week when we were talking about strip clubs offering free dances, as well as you and 5 friends get a bottle of something and a dance, and you also could win a college scholarship. You've won what part of America is this?
It is in West Virginia.
All right. And what are they offering?
The governor, who, first of all, he has the best name for a governor ever. For somebody to be in charge of anything, he has the best name. His name is Jim Justice.
Jim Justice, my God. But you know what? If I was going around and you see all the names on the cards and you take, and I've seen a Jim Justice, and I didn't know who any of these people are, I'll be picking Jim Justice. I'd go, yeah, Jim Justice seems like a superhero.
What a fucking name.
It is a quality name.
Well, anyway, he's the governor of West Virginia, and he's just announced his plan to offer incentives for people to get vaccinated. So he's announced that you can get customized trucks.
Yeah.
A lifetime hunting and fishing license.
Yeah.
Weekend getaways. A 4-year scholarship to any West Virginia institution for people aged between 12 and 25. Or the one that he's expecting to bring in the most people to get vaccinated, you can get a hunting rifle or a shotgun.
Is this a thing where you can pick your prize, or is this like a lottery? So
It's like a lottery.
All right. Well, like, okay. So like, I take
No, he's giving away $1 million as well.
$1 million. This is like we were talking about last week. So you could win $1 million, and there's like college scholarships. But this guy also has the ability that like kind of the runner up prizes is everybody get a gun kind of thing.
But like, isn't it funny that like it's like he's offering $1 million? He's offering like scholarships to school, but the one he expects to have the most impact is free guns.
Well, see, the thing is, like, okay, let's say some guy beside you who got vaccinated, he gets a truck. The next guy gets $1 million. You get a gun. Hey, mister, give me your truck. And you, give me your $1 million. And then you get both $1 million and truck. And then the kid goes up to the police and tries to prosecute you. But yeah, like, it is insane. But like, if you think about how much college fees are in America, you would imagine like if you were 15, between 12 and 24?
12 and 25, yeah.
12 and 25, that would be one of the more probably like lucrative prizes that you're looking at. And then if you're in your 50s, you would have imagined the truck, or if you're like past that, the truck, if you're out of college, basically, would have been like, oh, I want the truck. But no, he reckons that people are going to be like, give me the gun.
Yeah, give me the gun.
I don't know. I would also I wouldn't pick the gun. The fishing one also seems quite shit. But I guess if you're really into hunting and fishing, I don't know how much that is a year. But like if you're on, like I said, these prizes work quite well if you're on the fence, and like if it gets more people vaccinated, like I think the country has to get to 75%. What is the vaccination rate in West Virginia?
That's the thing. Like the vaccination rate in West Virginia is 84% of people over the age of 65 are vaccinated, and 75% of people over 50 are vaccinated. So like it doesn't say anything.
Oh, the overall figure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I think okay. You imagine what is the kind of demographic of people living in West Virginia. Do they have a lot of young people compared to old people, or is there a lot of people in their, let's say, 40s to 60s are the highest demographic? So there mightn't be that many people from like the 80s, like in the demographics. Like Florida has quite an older population. So if you look at the Florida population, there's a lot of old retired people, and then there's a lot of really young people. But there's, in terms of people like from 40s to 60s, there isn't that much people. There's like a huge split off. Like people go there when they're young, and people go there when they're retired. But people like mid-age, typically in Florida, there isn't a whole lot of people there. So I wonder if West Virginia, is there just like, could it be that there's a lot of kind of middle-aged people who mightn't get vaccinated, so their overall vaccination numbers are down, so they need to try to incentivize through like hunting licenses and guns?
Possibly.
But like, I imagine if you're trying to stop like deaths, this is the whole idea of vaccinating people, doesn't cause stops people dying of the coronavirus, and then you're giving a lot of people guns. Like, oh, our coronavirus deaths are going down, but our mass shootings are going up.
Yeah,
probably aren't correlated.
Definitely not like related to each other.
Yeah, that's why it's like, it's fringing. Is it an idiot of the week or not? Is like giving people guns for getting jabs the best solution? But the fact that you can also win $1 million, I think like if it gets people vaccinated and everyone has the gun, then is it a mass shooting or just is it a shootout?
Guns for jabs.
Guns for jabs. That's their slogan. We just fixed their slogan. They could have combined it and just shot people with tranquilizer darts with the vaccinator from a car.
We were talking about this earlier.
That could also be a solution for them.
Yeah, get zoo officials involved.
Yes. Now we've run out of time on the show, so we're going to have to move. So we're only going to have one idiot of the week. So I'm going to let you pick. You have to pick between the kids cheating on their test, the woman who finds a penis in her food, or the drunk teenager who wakes up in the Airbnb.
What would a Shite Talk podcast show be without some sort of penis story?
I had a feeling you're going to go for the penis. Okay. So our only idiot of the week is a woman who called the cops after she discovered a penis in her dinner. After finding the oddly shaped piece of meat at the grocery store, the woman freaked out and called the health department first and then the police. Now, I thought she actually discovered this piece of meat at the grocery store, but in fact, it wasn't until she had got home and actually was put the meat into the pot. First tried to ring the health department and no one answered. So she was like, who else can I ring in this situation where I find possibly a penis in my food? Oh, the police. And then her second option was the police.
Did she think it was like a human penis, or?
Yeah, she thought it was a human penis.
Is there photos of this? Like, what?
Yeah, there is a photo. Actually, I can send you because I screenshotted the articles on my phone in order to go back and research this at a later date. So I'll send that to you now. So you should get it there. She'd bought the piece of meat in the store. I think it was labeled turkey on the.
Hang on, she thinks this is a human penis.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How fucking big?
Well, Ken, they always say there's a dark colored penis, and they always say that certain demographics have larger penises than others. So maybe that's what we're competing with, Ken. Yeah, she basically had bought this meat, and it was labeled on the receipt. Like the type of meat it was pork tail. So it was a tail of a pork. She bought it in a supermarket called Save-A-Lot Supermarket. And this is going to be... and the receipt said it was turkey tails, but in fact it was just mislabeled on the receipt, and it was actually pork tails. So what was more interesting than the fact that she found a penis? Oh, I don't know if it's more interesting, but it's nearly as equally as interesting. She discovered this while doing a Facebook Live. So she was Facebooking live on obviously Facebook, and she was cooking her dinner, and she had to stop her Facebook Live because she had found a penis in her food.
I want to see the video.
I wanted to see. I want to see this Facebook Live so badly, and unfortunately it wasn't recorded. So it's now into the ether, I think. She took the meat and put it on a plate, and after trying to ring the health department, not getting answered, she then decided, I might as well give the police a ring. So
I wonder what they thought when they got there.
Well, they were suspicious off the back end. She basically called the police, and several officers arrived, as long with forensics and coroners, in order to identify the missing appendage. She then made a second Facebook Live, Ken. Which,
of course she did.
I want to see the second one more than I want to see the first one.
Oh, this will be good stuff.
So she also was making a Facebook Live and wanted to, then said, I better update my friends and family and followers on the ongoing situation with the penis. So she claimed on the Facebook Live that the medical examiner is out here right now and the coroner, because somebody is missing stuff. I think she also claimed that the police have examined it, and she said the first thing she said is the police came out and examined it, and it is in fact a penis. And then she goes on saying the medical examiner is out here, and so is the coroner, because somebody's missing stuff. And then it says, Save-A-Lot has a lot of explaining to do. And she's obviously like really annoyed at Save-A-Lot that they are mislabeling pork tail for in fact penises. She goes, some poor man died, or maybe is alive with a penis. So she's saying just something like accidentally just like his penis got chopped off, and I wonder how that happened. Well, I went into some meat dispenser, and some guys was like chopping different pieces of meat, and to somehow managed to like miss or just disfigure his penis, but not to the point where she could find it. Yeah, so basically the medical examiners determined that unfortunately it was just an unfortunately shaped piece of meat, probably a pig's tail, basically saying that it was actually just properly labelled on the packaging. So he said, it's not a penis, it's a pig's tail. You bought pig's tail. Why are you surprised? What a pig's tail looks like.
What the fuck she thought she was getting.
Maybe she had never seen what an inside of a penis looks like in the Venn diagrams. But if I was a police officer, like, oh, have you tasted it?
Have you tasted it?
Surely you know what dick tastes like. She just didn't know, and she mixed it. But like, what I get this, she bought pig's tail. It was labeled pig's tail, but she didn't know what pig's tail actually looked like when she was cooking it.
Yeah, that's strange. Like,
yeah, I think a worthy contender for idea of the week.
I think that was that's a good idiot of the week. Yeah,
and look we have now 2 more stories that we have for next week's show. So we probably have nearly next week's show covered. Again. So like, we talk so much shite that we now barely have to do research. I think we'd nearly be all right with the stories that we have of next week.
We probably won't remember them though.
I'll put them down on a piece of paper. This is like.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll make it up. Like if we lose the facts of the story, just make up a story that we think was the original story. But like, no one's going to be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, nobody will ever know.
Nobody does proper research anymore. So like, why should we?
Fair.
Like, the fiction's always more interesting than reality, isn't it? Anyway, we'll be back in the 195th show. More sweaty, more confused about what we're going to do for 204, I'm sure. And with a show full of idiots. Talk to you then.
Yeah. More idiots.
Shut up and sit down.